Good morning and welcome to FPL Mate. We are back for a deadline stream. Last deadline stream was like, it didn't work. It didn't work to plan. I didn't go to plan because of the bad internet, but hopefully we are back with some great internet. I say great internet, my home internet is not that good. It's all right. It will do the job. We'll see us through until deadline. Don't you worry about that. It'll be far better than it was last week. Believe me, you. Believe me, you. Believe you, me. That's how you say that phrase. Hopefully you guys are doing well this merry morning. It's a tired one for me. I'm not gonna lie. My sleep schedule is absolutely cooked. Excuse me. I'm just gonna put some lights on and stuff because I haven't even put on all my lights yet. We need some more brightness in this room. It's too dark. It's too gloomy. Yeah, my sleep schedule is just absolutely cooked at the moment because I've basically been staying up every night way too late making videos this week. But hopefully we can get that sorted for next week and everything will be much better. Everything will be much better. Interesting week. Interesting week indeed. Yeah, it's been a minute. Someone asking, James asking, bring back buy, sell, keep, avoid. I think I was planning on ditching that series, or thinking at least about ditching that series, but it seems like everyone wants it back. I had loads of comments this week asking about buy, sell, keep, avoid. So maybe we bring it back. Maybe bring it back next week. I think that's probably the plan at this point. And we're going to have to just figure out how I'm going to rework it to make it better. Because I wasn't quite happy with the way that series was last week. Oh no, last season. I think it just had a few flaws, and I want to get that sorted. Always want to bring the best content possible every week, and if I'm not totally happy with something, then I don't see why it should continue. But anyway, how is everyone doing this morning? Are we all good? Have we got any members in the chat? Dan Cross is here. Nice to see you here, my friend. Paradise is here. FPL Esto, Jack. Good morning, fellas. Good morning, fellas. Hope you guys are all right. And hopefully you're ready for the game week. Let's throw my team on screen if we can. Do we need a bench list this week as well? I haven't done a bench list in a hot minute. But I think we can certainly think about bringing that back as well if it's needed. I'm not sure if it is needed, to be honest, though. I'm not in the centre. I'm not centralised. Right, I need to move this way? No, it needs to move this way. The camera needs to move... Well, the whole... Is it this way? There we go. Alright, that'll do. There we go. Right, this is my team. Let's just make it look a little nicer on screen. And I think I'm set. I've been so lucky, by the way, guys. I have to admit, this is no skill, 100% luck to avoid all injuries and stuff like that for game week. For game week 2, no Barco, no Solanke, no. Who else got injured this week? Kwanzaa. Yeah, somehow managed to avoid everyone, so I feel quite fortunate that I haven't had to make any big decisions this week. Certainly, if I did have a Kwanzaa, I think I probably would have made the transfer early to someone like Robinson, most likely. But, yeah, no particular need. I'm set up. Very, very fortunate that I'm able to roll the transfer. But that's not to say I can't help any of you guys with your transfer moves that you're making. So we're going to answer some questions today, and we're going to build towards deadline. Is anyone triple captaining, by the way? In fact, I need to put this. I need to make a poll in the chat immediately. I think most people would agree that if you have Haaland, you captain him. So we don't need to do a captain poll this week, I don't think. So Haaland, if not, it's probably Salah. If not, it gets a little bit more difficult. But I'm going to put in a poll right now, guys. Are you triple captaining Haaland this week? Yes or no are the two options, and we're going to see what you guys are saying. A couple of super chats. First of all, from Dan Ramsey, who says, looking good in orange, Dan. Thanks for all your hard work. Appreciate it. No problem, my friend. No problem at all. Yeah, we're rocking a classic Netherlands shirt today. Got to be done. Got to be done. I don't know why. I've not got any Dutch players in my FPL team, but I thought we'd bang out some orange today to brighten up our Saturday mornings. Scott Tidd says, "Hi Dan, thoughts on Akanji? Thanks. All well, mate. No, much better as we get through the week. To be honest, my thoughts on Akanji. He's 5.5, right? Just double check that. Yeah, 5.5. I'm not sure that's amazing value for money. He's typically a player who, maybe maxes out at 6 points. Doesn't do super well for bonus. Doesn't score that frequently either. He's okay. He's okay. We can probably expect clean sheets in, I think 2 of the next 3 game weeks would be quite nice. Is he 100% nailed? Probably not, particularly when John Stones is back. And John Stones, by the way, could even be back this game week, potentially. We are going to see Stones and Walker reintroduced into the Manchester City team. And if that happens, it's going to start making players like Akanji a little bit riskier. So I'm not sure I would personally go for Akanji. I think that creates a problem for later. So I would maybe just look to avoid him for now. Dan Cross says, Harwood Bellis is getting a haul this week. Do you reckon so? Yeah, I mean, to be fair, home against Forest, I can see Southampton keeping a clean sheet. I don't think there's anything wrong with playing Harwood Bellis this week. FPL Esto says, F1 is in the Netherlands this week. There you go then. We're representing the F1 gang, as well as any Dutch watchers that there is out there listening, if there is. JJJ says, hey Dan, do you expect Rico Lewis to start continuously until Rodri comes back? I think there is a solid chance that he is going to be a useful player. I don't know necessarily if it hinges completely on Rodri being out, because Rico Lewis he's playing as a right back really, and I think Walker is a threat to his position as well. Obviously, it depends how Man City want to set up tactically, but I can certainly see Lewis getting a decent amount of minutes in the short term. But he's not going to be a nailed man every week. I'd probably say he starts 2 of the next 3, which is decent for a 4.5. It's very decent. It could happen. Dan says, blind hope possibly, but better than Kwanzaa Mikolenko. Definitely better than Kwanzaa. Mikolenko, you know what? I kind of agree. I think I'd rather play Harwood Bellis than a Mikolenko, to be fair. I do get it. Joshua Howe, member for 22 months. I think we need to make some new member badges. CFC Ethan, also member for 24 months. Scott, member for 7 months. Oof. That's a lot. That's a long-standing membership. We're got to do some members awards as well. I had meant to do that by now, but obviously this week has been a bit of a weird one, to be honest. Burn or Hall? I think I'd go for Hall over Burn for the attacking impetus, to be honest. Here for FPL says, morning mate. Bench 1, Robinson, Munoz and Kunku. It sounds like we need a bench list. We haven't done a bench list since last season. This is exciting. Let's bring it up. It's been such a long time. We'll do a bench list, I think. But who would I bench out of Robinson, Munoz and Nkunku? Well, I play Nkunku because always back the attacker. It's the golden rule of FPL. And outside of that, I guess I'd bench Robinson, I think. Because Munoz and Nkunku have a little bit more in attack. Well, that Robinson is nice. Ooh, so I bench one of Robinson and Munoz. It's difficult to say which one. I think Munoz is more likely to get an attacking return and Robinson is more likely to keep a clean sheet. So it depends what you're after, really. But we'll do a bench list. I'm just setting it up now, guys. Jack says, Anderson, Kwanzaa or Mikolenko, who should I start? I feel like Mikolenko's the only one to start, but I can see a lot of goals going past him. I actually agree with your analysis there, to be honest, my friend. I think Anderson now is confirmed to not be starting. The manager, Glasner, has kind of mentioned that Anderson and Ayew, 2 players who are in the middle of leaving the club, transfer moves out, they're going to be, well, they're not going to be starting this week. So Kwanzaa, bless him. I really do get the impression that Kwanzaa is not going to start this week as well, to be honest, given that was kind of benched mid-game last week and then reports of an injury as well and a lack of training. It's a little bit worrying. So unfortunately, I think Mykolenko is going to be your only choice there. But hey, you never know. You never know. Harvey says, Muniz or Armstrong for Solanke. I have Smith Rowe. I would go for Muniz. At the end of the day, I think in FPL, you've got to pick the players that you are most confident in. The only reason you're thinking about going against Muniz is because you have Smith Rowe. You like Harvey, I think if you're honest with yourself, who do you prefer as a pick? Individually, Muniz or Armstrong? And it sounds like the answer you would say is Muniz. And I don't know if I'd let Smith Rowe put me off that. Of course, you are taking more of a risk going for the double Fulham attack. But we've got 2 back-to-back nice fixtures against newly promoted teams. It could work. Even having both could work. So yeah, I would go for Muniz, regardless of whether you have Smith Rowe. A lot of people will probably be tripling up. A lot of people will have Robinson, Smith Rowe, and Muniz this week now, which I think is absolutely fine. Because at the end of the day, as long as you're picking players that that you're happy with, then why the devil not? Right, bench list. It's been a while. We haven't done a bench list in so long. I love the bench list. Someone in the chat claims that Mittermite is my cousin. Wow. I hope you're not. Hope you're not capping. I hope you're not spitting lies. We'll see. Right. Let's put some defenders on the bench list because I think that's probably where most of the questions are. By the way, guys, of course, if you are new to the channel this season and you haven't watched the streams before and you haven't seen the bench list before, this is how it works. We make a list of players, and the higher they are on the list, the more you should prioritize playing them. So, for example, if we were to put Mykolenko, here we go, Mykolenko, Kwanzaa, and Anderson on the list, because Mykolenko is the highest of the 3, if you have all 3 of these players, for example, and you can only play one, well, my personal preference is to play the guy who is highest on the list, which would be Mykolenko, and Anderson would go on your bench. I would, however, play Harwood Bellis above them all. So, Harwood Bellis goes higher on the bench list. It's beautiful. Well, that's how it works. That's how it works. And if you guys want me to put any particular players on the bench list, then I can go ahead and put them on there. And everything will be amazing. The Gaming Panda says, thoughts on Solanke for Wood pre-rise, love from New Zealand. I don't mind Wood. I would just have to say on Wood that I think there's a good chance that he is rotated, rested, dropped in the next few weeks, because Awani is available, Forest looking to sign a new striker, and even though Wood has been brilliant, and I do think it's actually unfair that he is being that Nuno's looking to replace him in a way. I think it is unfair, but I do worry about his minutes, and I think even if he is starting, he's not going to be a 90-minute man. He's going to be a 60-minute man with the risk of occasional rotation. So I don't mind Wood for the short term, but I think he could be a player that causes you problems later down the line. I mean, you are a Kiwi, you are from New Zealand, so maybe you need to back your boy. But yeah, as long as you're aware of the risks in the medium term, then absolutely fine to go for Wood. Don't mind him as a pick at all. Tim V says, hi mate, Tim here. Should I triple captain Vardy, aiming for top 10k? Tim, it's good to have you back, my friend, for another season. I wouldn't triple captain Vardy if you want to go for top 10k, my friend, but why not? FPL Discomfort, what's up, Kieran? Says, stop me from transferring Doku in, Dan, please. You know what? I like I prefer Foden if you can afford him, but I mean, Doku's an interesting one. There's definitely some huge potential there, and Kieran, he is the exact kind of pick for you, but he's definitely going to cause you problems down the line. Sun Explorer says Anderson has already moved to Fulham. Is that done now? Is that officially confirmed? It wasn't confirmed as of yesterday. I've not seen anything this morning or even last night, to be fair. Drew says slightly better quality this week. Dan, hope all okay. Yeah, the stream was not streaming last week, was it? Yeah, hotel Wi-Fi last week did not do the job, but we're doing a lot better now. Thank you, Drew. Doing a lot better. James Tucker says Lewis or Munoz. Well, I've got a bit of a loving relationship with Daniel Munoz. Not in that way. So I would always say Munoz. Rodgers on the bench list. Okay, Rodgers. I don't know if I'd be super. I usually say back the attacker, but the attacker against Arsenal is not necessarily a great thing. So we're going to put Rodgers around the middle there. I'd rather play him than some of these defenders. Mohammed says a little help on what to do with Barker on the bench, please. Leave him on the bench. Last on your bench. That's the way it's got to stay. Unfortunately, he's not going to have any game time. None at all. So, I think you just have him on your bench and you leave him on your bench. As long as you have other cover, then he's going to be. There's not really much you can do. He's probably going to be price locked at 4 million. He's not worth a transfer. You're going to buy. Realistically, you're going to buy another 4 million defender for him, who you perhaps wouldn't play. If I had to buy a 4 million defender for Barco, it would probably be Harwood Bellis at this point. But it's not worth if you've got other defenders, he's not worth a transfer. So you just leave him for now. A few people asked for Ben Johnson on the bench list. This is Ben Johnson here. I'll put B Johnson so you guys know. Josh, you said I missed your super chat. I apologise, Joshua. Let me find it real quick. Here it is, sorry. Joshua says, start 2, bench 2. Anderson, Aina, Winks, Harwood. All right, let's just add them all to the bench list. So, Aina and Winks need to go on. Winks would probably go here, because I think Mikolenko and Kwanzaa are potentially on for 1-pointers. Same with Ben Johnson. And I think Winks can at least get you a 2-pointer. And that just leaves us with Aina, who I would try and play him, I think. I would try and play him. I know he's potentially injured, but I think I'd give him a go. Below Harwood Bellis. And maybe play Rodgers ahead of him. So we'll put Aina around there. I think that works pretty well. I think. We'll put a few people asking about Daniel Munoz, so I'm going to put him on the bench list. I'm going to put him here. Do prefer Gabriel, even against Aston Villa. And you want Robinson as well. Robinson I do like. Robinson, I feel like I've got a bit of Munoz bias. I think Robinson's probably safer than Munoz this week. But it's up to you. FPL Victoria's Secret, who you changed your, did you change your name recently? What did your, because you're clearly a moderator of this channel, FPL Victoria's Secret. Who did, is it Jandre? Yeah, I think it's Jandre. Says, Dan asking for my wife, as she obviously doesn't trust my advice. Solanke / Kwanzaa to Muniz / Porro worth a -4. Ooh. And then who? Porro, Munoz or Kwanzaa? I don't know if I go for Porro now. Because after the Everton fixtures, the fixtures look a bit rougher. So I think Porro is great for this game week, but after that, we've got Newcastle and Arsenal back-to-back. And I think Porro will struggle for points in those games. So for that reason, would you need to play Kwanzaa this week? If you need to play Kwanzaa this week, then you probably go for Munoz. If you can bench Kwanzaa this week, then you maybe bring him in and then hold him on your bench for this game week and then bring him in next week when Aston Villa's fixtures look a little nicer. But if you have both Solanke and Kwanzaa at this point, and the only way to... I don't know. I think selling Solanke is the is the priority. If you have Solanke and you have a free transfer, you do that, no question. You just do it. You just make the move. And I think Muniz is probably the sensible pick. After that, and then think... So once you've done Solanke to Muniz, you need to think individually about Konza. Is he now worth another transfer? You've freed up money. Can you cover it with someone else? Have you got a Harwood Bellis on your bench? Have you got a Mikolenko? I know they're not amazing picks, but have you got something to cover? If you do, then you probably don't take the -4. If you have literally no other players, then at that point, you take a punt on Robinson or Munoz because you need someone to play this week. So that would be my advice there. Muniz and Munoz could very well come in. Only if you don't have any other options on the bench, though. Ashraf asked if I'm triple captaining Haaland. I thought about it a lot. I've kind of decided after my research for yesterday's video that I'm not going to do it, but it was close. I definitely still think it is worth considering. For sure. Lewis Hall on the bench list. Yeah, we can throw in a Lewis Hall here. I do like Lewis Hall. Put him around here. I mean, to be fair, I could even put Hall higher. But because it's an away fixture, I'm going to drop him below Munoz. I think. Sutton Explorer says, when is the right time to transfer Son to Foden? Thinking game week 3. I would consider doing it now. If you have a free transfer, I wouldn't mind doing it now. There's a real high upside there. It's a luxury transfer, but if you could get Foden starting against Ipswich, that could be really, really nice. It's certainly better than, if you had to guess who's going to score more points, Son against Everton or Foden against Ipswich, you would probably back Foden, wouldn't you? Which kind of makes sense to do it now. I wonder about Son. If Son is playing on the left wing and up front we've got like a Kulusevski or a Timo Werner maybe in the centre, or Timo Werner on the left, Son up front. I don't know. But Everton are lacking a lot of attackers. Son could be better if he's playing central striker. His numbers are much better when he's playing through the middle. Overtino's here. Morning, Richard. Good morning, good morning. Could you add more attackers and midfielders? If you guys have got suggestions, some people are asking for quite unique players. If we've got any players who are a lot of people have, I'm happy to put them on the bench list. Sun Explorer says, bench list, Wood, Smith Rowe, Son, Muniz. Okay, so Wood, you start. Smith Rowe, you start. Muniz, you start. I don't know why I put Smith Rowe. I'm going to go like that. And who else? Son. I think you start Son no matter what. And then who else was suggested here? Someone asked about someone else. Was it Eze? I think I put Eze at the top. Really like Eze for this week. Adam asks, can Barco drop in price after the loan to Sevilla? No, he can't. Not after. As soon as he gets, like the red Dorito of death next to his name with the little exclamation mark on it. As soon as that attaches itself to a player, he will be locked in price. Wout Fass, okay. I think I'd rather play Wout Fass than some of these players. Some potential there. And Nkunku would go for me here. Winks is already on there. Smith Rowe's already on there. A few people asking for Garnacho. Happy to include him. I would put Garnacho here, maybe. I do prefer some of the other attackers that we've spoken about today, for this game week at least. Away fixture against Brighton, it's not super easy. But certainly better than a lot of the defenders. Can we add Armstrong to the bench list? Yes, we can. Armstrong, I'm going to drop in here. And by the way, guys, just to make it really clear, there's a lot of defenders who you might have and you might like Robinson, Munoz, Hall, you might see them lower down on the bench list, but really that's just because they're competing with attackers. In terms of defenders, like these four are the highest defenders on the bench list. They're only behind the attackers because I do prefer to back attackers in FPL. It's why we all play with 3 at the back formations, because we prefer to play with attackers. Jack says, are you going to triple captain Dan? Best content creator. Thank you so much, Jack, man. I appreciate that. I don't think I am, no. No, I don't think I'm going to go for it. Jack Sakra says, what do I... Am I saying your name right? Jack Sakra. Jack Sakra Blur. What do I do if Anderson is now blocking Munoz? There's not really too much you can do, to be honest, mate. There are other options, like Robinson or Konza, or... No, you could even go for Pedro Porro if you wanted to. There are other defenders you could go for, but ultimately, Anderson apparently has changed club within the FPL app. Apparently he's done. He's a Fulham player now, and if that's the case, and it is the case, I've just looked it up, then you don't need to worry about that anymore. He can't block Crystal Palace players anymore because the transfer's done. He's now a Fulham player. Now, Anderson would potentially block Robinson and Muniz. God, can you... there must be... All right, guys. Is there anyone out there in the chat who started the season with Anderson and Robinson and maybe like a Smith Rowe? So Anderson for Crystal Palace, Robinson for Fulham, Smith Rowe for Fulham, and now you've also got Solanke, but you want to move him to Muniz, but you can't because Anderson is now blocking Muniz because you've got 3 Fulham players out of nowhere. Does that sound like any of you guys? Because that is a crazy, crazy situation, and I don't think anyone saw coming. Anderson moving to Fulham, and then you have to sell Solanke for a Fulham player because he got injured for the first time ever. That guy is like... he's like impervious to getting injured, and yes, he has. It's so unlucky, Solanke owners. Bruce Lee says, did Gordon to Doku? Am I crazy? Wish me luck, Dan. Yeah, a little bit. I wouldn't have made that move personally, but Doku captain, I guess you haven't got Haaland. It's one of those moves that could go really right or really wrong. It's high risk, high reward, to be fair. It could go either way. So good luck, Bruce Lee. I did think, to be honest, Bruce, I did think you passed away a number of years ago, but clearly you faked your death and are now in hiding, focusing on your fantasy team instead. Can you imagine? Bruce Lee fakes his own death so he can focus on fantasy football. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Right, Lewis on the bench list. Okay, Lewis goes above a lot of these players for me. In fact, he goes above a lot of the midfielders for this week. I'm gonna put him all the way up here. Yeah, I really, really like Lewis for this. Jack Saka says, yes, that's me. Lol. Damn, man. Who are like the other forwards to go for? Like the other forwards to go for, we're looking at... We had a look yesterday. I'm gonna take the bench list off screen for a second because I want to have a look on the hub. I'm gonna have a look at the hub. Right, hold on. Bench list. See ya. So let's go on points predictions. Forwards 2 to 5. Yeah, I mean, Havertz is the ideal replacement, but it's just difficult to do, isn't it, with him being a little bit more expensive than Solanke. Mateta is interesting. I think Wissa is interesting as well, but it's really, really difficult to pick someone out at the moment. Could go for Chris Woods if you can't go for Muniz. It seems quite obvious to go for Muniz, though, doesn't it? Mateta, if you could go for Mateta and it pays off, that could be a real big play. You really, really could. But there we go. Simon says Havertz, but he's an obvious start. Yeah, Havertz. I do like Havertz. If it's possible to do Solanke to Havertz, then I would do that. But I mean, who has that much money in the bank? Ed says it's raining a lot in Manchester and Haaland scores more on quick services, triple captain time. I like your analysis. Daniel Green says, Dan, any news on Cole Palmer injury? Yeah, there's nothing definitive there. The manager seemed reasonably positive. I think it's going to be reduced minutes for Palmer this week, to be honest. I wouldn't be buying Palmer. I wouldn't be buying him. But at the same time, I don't think he's an immediate sell either. I would roll the dice on him. Because we know the potential that Palmer has as well. It's worth rolling the dice. Einar says, damn, I almost took a -4 for Lewis. Ipswich better score just to calm my nerves. Hey, I don't know if it's worth taking -4s for defenders if you have something on your bench, to be honest. JP Lambert says, will Foden start? I think he will. Up the tune says, Saka to Foden? No, that's a violation. Saka is too good. You never sell Saka. Unless he's injured, you keep Saka. He's a season keeper. He really is. I do think Foden will start, though. John Gattuso says he didn't mention anything in his press conference. Just spoke about Neto and the keepers. Yeah, John, it was in the embargoed quotes. So it came out a little bit later. So yeah, it was in the hidden press conference remarks that were not immediately released to the public. Yes, we're getting in the real nerdy stuff when we're looking up embargoed quotes from managers. Can I have Sinistera on the bench list? Leander, I'm not going to put Sinistera on the bench list. I would maybe play him. He would be one of the lowest attackers, but you play him ahead of defenders. But yeah, I think Leander, you might be the only person in the entire chat to own Sinistera, so I don't know if he's worth putting on there. Start Bailey or Smith Rowe? I'd start Smith Rowe. Should we bring the bench list back up? I think we can put Bailey on there. Some people have Bailey, don't they? So Bailey, I would put in around a similar place to Rodgers, I think. Maybe he sneaks in just ahead. Let's put him in here. And there we go. Mateta in the bench list. If you have Mateta, you play him. I'll put him around... You know, I really do like Mateta for this week, to be fair. I put him pretty high, genuinely. I like him. Warwick says, start Hall or Robinson and Murphy or Nkunku. I think all of those players are on the bench list already. So Robinson is above Hall, so you start Robinson. And Nkunku is above Murphy, so you start Nkunku. FPL Darncello says, thoughts on Welbeck? I mean, I'm mixed on Welbeck. I think long term he's going to be an absolute rotation nightmare because Brighton are signing too many forwards. He could be good for game week 2, but after that I think you're in big trouble with him. So I don't think I'd be buying him. Investor Ice says, will Pedro Porro play in the match? I think he will. Yeah, I think Pedro Porro is good for a start. Wesley says, yo, Dan, I really want to get Lewis for a short-term punt and want rid of Mikalenko. So what do you reckon? Lewis, Robinson, or roll the transfer? I think the problem is it's difficult because Mikalenko is a good longer-term pick and Lewis is a poor long-term pick. Robinson kind of covers you for both. So, I mean, I guess if you're trying to cover your short-term and your long-term, then Robinson's a little bit smarter. I don't think you need to sell Mikalenko yet. I don't think you need to, but I understand why you're thinking about it. I would possibly just roll the transfer. I think you could do worse than to just keep Mikalenko. To be perfectly honest, it's not. You're gonna have a rough week this week with Mikalenko. After that, the fixtures are pretty decent for Everton. After that, they're not too bad. So after Spurs, they have Bournemouth at home, Aston Villa away, which is not great. But after that, Leicester, Palace, Newcastle, Ipswich, Fulham, Southampton, West Ham, Brentford. It's a really nice run. Man United, Wolves after that. If you think you're going to wild card early, then maybe there is an argument to sell Mikalenko. If you think you're going to wild card within the next sort of 5 weeks, then I would sell Mikalenko. But if not, then I would hold on to him. I would go for Robinson. Think it's a little bit more sensible. Lewis is a nicer short-term punt, though. Depends what you're more comfortable with. FPL Victoria's Secret says the wife went Porro. Fair enough. She has Saliba, Gvardiol, Anderson, Johnson, and now Porro. That is a stacked defence. Nice one, Jandro. Nice one. Right. Renato says, hi, out of this 3, I have to choose 2. Who would you choose? Smith Rowe, Muniz, and Wood. They're all on the bench list. Yeah, guys, just a reminder. So anyone who has got benching dilemmas, this is what we have. This beautiful graphic is on screen to help you with your bench questions. Basically, look for your players on this list. The higher the player is on the list, the more of a priority it is to start them. The lower the player is on the list, then you can be more willing to bench them. So, just like the example we just had a look at there, which I have lost already. But yeah, if you have, like for example, if you have an Nkunku, you have a Garnacho, and you have a Bailey, and you can only start one. Nkunku is the highest on the bench list, so you start him. If you have Gabriel, Robinson, and Munoz in your team, well, and you have to start 2 of them, you start Gabriel and Robinson, and you bench Munoz. If you have a Barco and an Eze, and you don't know who to bench out of those 2, well, then I can't help you. But no, of course, you would play Eze and you would bench Barco. That's the most extreme example on this list. Matt with the super chat says, done Kwanzaa to Colwill. Thoughts? I mean, it's okay. I'm not quite convinced by Chelsea's defence yet, but that can quickly change. You've taken a bit of a risk on Chelsea's defence, but it could pay off for sure. It could pay off. In terms of Solanke to Muniz, for a -4, I think you have to consider it. I think you really do. I don't think I would do it with confidence, but I think I would do it. I wouldn't feel good about it, but I think I would do it because Solanke's just not going to play, and you don't want to be a man down. Dave says, who to captain between Son, Isak, Jota, and Palmer? I think I would go for Jota. out of those 4. I think there's some potential there. By the way, according to our poll, 33% of you are playing the triple captainship this week. That's nuts. Crazy. João Pedro on the bench list. All right, a few people are asking about João Pedro, so we can add him in. I don't think he would be super low, but he wouldn't be super high. Being a penalty taker is always useful. So I think we can maybe put him in. Oh, we can put him in here. Penalty taker tax. He goes a little bit higher on the list. That's how these things often work. There we go. Sutton's Explorer says, knowing Anderson is now a Fulham player, does his position on the bench list change? No, not at all. He's not going to start for Fulham. If he signed, within the last 24 hours? They're not going to throw him straight in. He probably hasn't even met the manager yet. Well, probably has met the manager during negotiations, but he wouldn't have had any training sessions or anything like that. He would not have properly met his teammates yet, I don't think. He might have said hello in passing, but yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, no chance he starts. Soham says, starting Wood over Nkunku according to your list. Yep, I would agree with that. But should I get Doku in for Nkunku? No. Keep Nkunku. Nkunku is fine to keep this week. A few people asking about Nkunku to Doku. No, I wouldn't do it. Sap says, hey Dan, any thoughts on the 2 best defenders besides Trent and Gvardiol? Stuck with the Mikalenko and Anderson duo. Robinson at 4.5. Rico Lewis at 4.5. That's if you're looking for 4.5s. I mean, obviously, the other best defenders are Gabriel, right? But I would consider Rico Lewis. I'd consider Robinson. Those are my 2 favourites for this week if you had to bring in a new defender. And it seems like a lot of Anderson owners and a lot of Mikalenko owners are thinking about making that move. I definitely get it. I definitely understand it. Subash says show team gangs are here. Yeah, man. We're gonna be much kinder to the show team gang this season, I think. Where does Pedro Porro rank on the bench list? Pretty high. He'd be one of my favourite defenders to go for this week. Let's put him up here, above the other Pedro. Sophie says Saliba or Robinson. I'm gonna put the Arsenal attackers ahead of Robinson. I just have more trust in them, more faith in them. Constant bench list. Yeah, Constant's going low. Constant's going low on the bench list. I'll try and avoid playing him if possible. We're going to put him down here. Algot says start to bench one between Wood, Gordon and Muniz. So Wood and Muniz are already on the bench list, which just means we need to add Gordon, who I would put reasonably high. I'm going to put Gordon all the way up here, I think. All the way up. Clayton says show team gang supremacy. The show team gang are well and truly back. It truly is a new season. Crazy. Mazraoui on the bench list. Yeah, I mean, I think there are better defenders, but he would go somewhere. I would probably put Mazraoui maybe here? Maybe a little lower, actually. Maybe here. Yeah, I know Mazraoui has kind of been the hype 4.5 after his 8-pointer on Friday. I think the hype has probably died down since Friday, slowly but surely. He's an okay defender to own, but I think there are better options. Best 4.5 defender other than Robinson and Byrne. Okay, so you've got Konsa if you don't need to play him this week. You've got Hall at Newcastle. You've got Rico Lewis for a short-term punt. You've got... I mean, that's about it, really. Could go for a Crystal Palace defender. Mark Gay at Crystal Palace is a possibility. Haroon says, is it worth Garnacho to Mitoma for free? No, it's not worth it. Keep Garnacho. Wesley says, thanks, Dan. Any team news does Rico start? No team news, but I don't see why Rico Lewis wouldn't start. Einar says, just a heads up, guys. Son will have a haul against damaged Everton. I know this because I sold him last night. It always happens to me. Great advice, Einar. It's always the way. It's always the way. Dave says, your video yesterday convinced me to triple captain Haaland. Well, I'm happy to have convinced you one way or the other. Sid Vicious says, Doku was a 1-week punt. Any leaks this game week? We've got no leaks, unfortunately, for today. I think the difficulty is that the game isn't until 3. Like, if it's the early kickoff, sometimes we do get some early team news. I've not seen anything from Man City. But if I had to make a prediction, Doku would start. I think he does. If we do get any City leaks before the deadline, though, I'll be sure to share them with you. Do you ever play draft? Yes, I do. Bruno on the bench list. The players, to be fair, players like Son and Bruno, they don't really belong on the bench list. These kind of players, if you're paying 8 million plus for a player, you play them every single game week, regardless. Like, every week. Ahmad on the bench list. Yeah, not so convinced by Ahmad, unfortunately. I think he goes pretty low. You maybe put him ahead of some of these defenders. But he's going to be all the way down here. But I'm not convinced he's going to start. Why is Anderson so far low on the bench list? Because he's not going to play. I'll just add that as a note. There you go. Won't start. How about Dunk? Dunk can go pretty low, but not like rock bottom, I guess. Dunk is probably around... maybe here. Or would I rather play Dunk than Rodgers? Yeah, I think I probably would. Wow, the text is getting small. Maybe we need to remove some players. Can you guys even still read this? Because I'm struggling myself. The bench list is going too large. It's getting too large. Knots mids. Not really keen on any, to be honest. FPL Fran is going triple captain. Fair play. Fair play. Don't completely blame him. It's a decent opportunity. But the only reason I'm not is because I kind of acknowledge that there will be other opportunities. But it's definitely valid to triple captain. It is 100% valid. I back it. I'll back anyone who's going for it. Could be big. These aren't player rankings, by the way. This is whether you should bench or play players. To be honest, any goalkeepers we can put? Do people still rotate their goalkeepers in Big 2024? If so, who do we have? We have Henderson. I mean, you play an Edison or an Allison above, don't you? If you have Raya, you play him. I can't even really remember what goalkeepers people are going for. Pickford, you put down here. Jota on the bench. Jota does not belong on the bench list. Play Jota. Play Jota. Like you should not even be considering benching Jota. Ronaldo says, "Hello, mate. Would you transfer out Hall for Lewis?" No. No, I wouldn't. That seems a bit luxury. Waste of a transfer. Hall is good. He's fun. Alex says, "I'm late to the party, bro. Thoughts on bringing in Nicholas Jackson or Wood for an injured Solanke?" I prefer Wood to Nicholas Jackson. I'm not convinced Jackson is going to start every week. Particularly now, you know, Nkunku can play there. João Felix can play there. So I'm not convinced by good old Nicholas Jackson, unfortunately. Who's my vice captain? My vice captain is Jota. So I do really rate the Jota captaincy. Not above Haaland, obviously. But, I mean, come on. Let's be honest. Mikey Revs in the chat. Let's go. Game week 2 could be big. Lewis owners, be aware. Kyle Walker is all over the marketing for the game, if you value that kind of thing. I don't value that at all. Lewis is playing, surely. Although that would be an absolute disaster if people have transferred Kwanzaa out for Lewis and then Lewis doesn't start. Can you imagine? Oh, pain. That's why I think I prefer Robinson, because I love Lewis for this game week. I really do. And I think there's a good chance that he makes up for the fact that you're going to have to sell him again later. But there is some long-term risk there, isn't there? Or even medium-term risk. It really is. Emil asking about selling Aina. If you have a free transfer, I would consider selling Aina. Consider. I don't think you have to do it. Kabalash says, "I'm late to the party. What other news do we have apart from Solanke?" I put all of the biggest headlines on the ticker along the bottom of the screen for you guys to follow. Where would you put Sanchez? Sanchez of Chelsea. I think I'd put him. Or would I play him above Henderson? You know what? I think I would potentially play Sanchez ahead of Henderson. I think. Start Colwell or Rodgers. I would back the attacker. Would I? And actually, I'll play Colwell. Play Colwell. Christopher Cox says, "I'm Lucas. Just joined the stream. Is Richarlison going to play?" I think he will. I think he will, Lucas. I think you're good. Shane says, João Felix in for game week 3. I think it's a little bit early to be thinking about game week 3. And I think it's a little bit early to be thinking about João Felix as well. No, is my answer. Where would you put Jamie Vardy? Not super high. I guess around the João Pedro level. Penalty king. With other penalty kings. But it's a difficult fixture against Manchester United for Vardy. Is it a difficult fixture? I don't know if it's a difficult fixture or not. Last season it would have been an easy fixture, but actually Man United impressed me in game week 1. I don't want to jump to any conclusions quite yet. Fulkrug, not convinced I would go for Fulkrug this week. Savio bench list. Savio would go towards the bottom. I don't think he's going to start. I think he could get some minutes, but I don't think he's going to start. Welbeck or Muniz. Definitely Muniz. Muniz is the number one Solanke replacement. There's no doubt about it. Unless you can afford Havertz, which is not going to be very many people. Right. We are getting close to deadline, guys. Just 4 or 5 minutes left to go. We need to start getting it locked in. Where are the City players? The City players do not belong on the bench list because you absolutely play all of them. Well, other than like rotation risk ones. Will Palmer start? I think probably. Dave says Vardy is against Fulham. Yes, I was talking about João Pedro against Man United, but Vardy is against Fulham. Sorry if that was confusing. Why Turner didn't play for Forest? Because Turner is Forest's third choice goalkeeper. And hasn't been their first choice goalkeeper for at least 6 months. All the show team gang are here and they're ready to go. Dallo or Harwood Bellis? I think I would start Harwood. I would start Dallo. I don't think I'd buy Dallo, but I would start him this week above Harwood Bellis. Muniz or Mateta? I prefer Muniz for the value for money. A lot cheaper. Brereton Diaz on the list. Would go reasonably high. Would go in the kind of Murphy area, I think. Wow, a lot of people saying, show your team. All right, I suppose we better do that then. Right, where are we? Where's my team? The thing is, a lot of people are asking about the bench, but if people are more interested in my team right now, I guess that's okay too. If I can just get the screen up. There we go. John says, I'll never forgive Turner for getting a -1 on my bench boost last season. Ugh. Didn't even see the field and got a yellow. Oh, my word, I remember that. Isn't that the week, like, I can't remember who it was. Was that the week Stormzy bench boosted? and went through the exact same experience on his FPL team. Could be. Could be. Kwanzaa or Anderson? Anderson's not going to play. Kwanzaa might get a minute. So I don't know. Am I triple captain Haaland? No, I'm not. I'm not going to do it. My mate Captain Gakpo. Good luck to your mate. That is a bold move. I don't even know if Gakpo is going to start. If I had to guess, he probably won't. 2 minutes ago, yes, we're getting super close to the deadline, guys. We're getting super close. Doku or Bernardo? Doku, I guess. I'm not super keen on either. Christian says triple captain. I rate it. If you want to go for it, go for it. I definitely back it. I definitely back it. Garnacho bench, Ahmad starts. Is that actually confirmed? I have no idea. I don't know how true that is. Sounds like it could be one of those lies that we tell ourselves. I guess we'll see. Right. Anyone got a sofa to borrow for the City game? No Haaland, huh? Please answer Dan, Brereton Diaz or Nkunku want to be benched. I would back Nkunku. Ranviz says, hang on, you're actually entertaining the show team gang. Yeah, man. Yeah, why not? Why not? I'm not doing anything with my team. It's like, it's the same as last game week. It's the same, exactly the same as I put in my team selection video. So there's no difference. The information's already out there. Is Fatawu a good option from Leicester for 5.5? No, not now Vardy's back. Start Munoz or Robinson? I can't remember where they were on the bench list. They're about the same. It's a coin toss between Munoz and Robinson. Dan, are you rolling? Yes, I am. We are locked. We are locked in. I just don't have a need to make a transfer. I'm sitting pretty. I'm pretty happy with my team. Captain Son over Salah, is it a bad idea? I wouldn't do it personally. I prefer Salah captain this week, I think. What happened to buy, sell, keep, avoid? Coming back next week. Buy, sell, keep, avoid will be back next week. It's been an interesting week. And there you go, guys. The deadline is passed. The deadline is passed. We are locked in. How are we all feeling about our teams? Are we happy? Are we confident? Are we nervous at all? Are we happy with our moves? I'm guessing a lot of you guys did the big Solanke to Muniz move. Also, did anyone... Well, there'll be a lot of triple captains. I can't believe triple captain coming out in Game Week 2. It's amazing. It's amazing. But there we have it. I'm going to end the poll. It looks like about 32% of you guys are triple captaining Haaland, which is absolutely nuts. Absolutely crazy. But I love it. I absolutely love it. Fair play, guys. Daniel says, have KDB... have Salah and KDB... Do you knock a KDB captain? No, I do not. I think it definitely could pay off. I think I would prefer to captain Salah to KDB personally, but I don't think there's anything too wrong with captaining De Bruyne. Could thrive. You never know what's going to happen with him. Los Hopitos is on the Haaland triple captain. Fair play, fair play. The question is now... we may as well wait for lineups now, because lineups come out a little bit earlier now. We can just wait 15 minutes or 14 minutes and we'll see the Man United and Brighton lineups. Curious to see. Very curious to see. But there we go. Deadline has passed, by the way, guys. So anyone asking transfer-related questions, it's gone now. We can go off topic, or we can talk about whatever you want for the next 15 minutes, whilst we wait for the lineups. Let's see. Shane says, "Did you hear about the Haaland rumours?" No, I did not. What rumours? Go on, entertain me. Entertain me. Johnny says it's Garnacho starting. I'll tell you in 13 minutes. Aruna says, okay, so what are your plans for next game week? Might roll again, boys. I might roll again. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the game updates fairly quickly. So I might even be able to select my lineup within the next, like, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. I can have a look at what my team looks like. But I mean, my one issue next week is the double Crystal Palace defence against Chelsea. It's only a problem for that 1 week, in fairness, but it's like not something I'm super happy with. After that, I'm happy with it. I'm happy to do it double Crystal Palace defence against Leicester. I'm happy against Manchester United. I'm happy against Everton. By game week 7, I will have wildcarded, so I don't really need to think of that. But Chelsea away, little bit worried. But I like Daniel Munoz and I like his attacking ability. So I don't know. I don't know where I'll go. Like, Muniz has another good fixture. He plays, is it Ipswich? Yeah, Ipswich away in game week 3. I like Isak against Spurs. I don't... If Nkunku drops a stinker, I will just play Rodgers against Leicester. I mean, I could definitely consider playing Rodgers next week, to be honest, over Nkunku. So, yeah. There we go. Right, anyway. Few questions in the chat. Off-topic question from Rev. Do I like Formula 1? No, I just can't get into it. I will try to get into it properly one day, but no. Anteater says, how many game weeks do you think it will take for FPL Challenge to die? I don't know, man. I've already forgotten about it, to be honest. I forgot it was a thing until you just reminded me. Arsenal Villa score predictions. I think Arsenal will win 2-0. Rory Watts says, who do you think will finish top 4? I think it'll be Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and then 4th spot is up for grabs. It really is. Newcastle, if Newcastle can do a season without injuries, maybe they can throw their hat in there. But 4th place is tough. Do a bench list for bands. Let's go off topic. I don't really listen to bands these days, though, to be honest. I wouldn't even know where I'd be starting. I mean, what bands are people listening to these days? I actually couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. Right. Lost Hobbiter says, Dan, would you be interested to interview the person who wins the FPL Mate League? Yeah, possibly. Possibly. We'll see what happens. Are you planning on winning the league then, Los Hobbitos? If you win the league, Los Hobbitos, I'll interview you on the channel. I'll do it. We'll do it. Squash today. Squash today is a lovely little blackcurrant number. A nice apple and blackcurrant number from Asda. Paredes says, according to my sources, Garnacho is benched and Xerxes starts. Check me. Well, we'll check you in 10 minutes, my friend. We'll check you soon. FPL Harry thinks it'll be Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool and Spurs. Well, I've got an anti-Spurs agenda, so we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of hopium from people in the chat hoping that Haaland is not going to start. Come on. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest with ourselves. What bands are you listening to? No, I'm not listening to any, but I can't think of a single band that I listen to. Cannot. No. Well, okay, the 1975 would maybe be an exception to that. It's probably the only band I regularly listen to. I listen to a lot of EDM though, so EDM is not really bands. We'll see. AT says, should I get Havertz on my third kit order? I feel like ooh. Yeah, that could be kind of cool, to be fair. Dan just wants to say Los Hobbitos all the time. It's fun to say, can't lie. Benjamin says, what's your day job, sir? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Now, this is my day job. This is my day job, my friend. We are living in it. The fantasy football stuff. Well, the fantasy football YouTube is my day job. John says, AC/DC, surely. You've got the whole Aussie vibe going already. Has anyone listened to AC/DC since the 1980s? Don't even know what era they are. 70s? No, I don't listen. I have got the Aussie vibe going, but no, I'm not an AC/DC's fan. Favorite movie? I will not only tell you my favorite movie. I'll tell you the best movie that was ever created. Is Interstellar. It's not just my favorite movie. It is the best. It is the best movie indeed. Rev says day job, sleeping. Bro makes most of his videos at 3 a.m. Yeah, that's based. I think. How many videos did I make this week? I made less videos this week because I was trying to. Whatever. But I think most videos I made this week, I probably didn't finish until like 4 or 5 a.m. I think for 2 videos. I think I was up until 5 a.m. on 2 videos this week, which is not good for me. I need to sort out my sleep schedule, but that will happen next week. There you go. What would be a good triple captain score today? I think you'll probably be looking for anything above 10 points and you're happy. I think you're happy. Kablash says, I like that shirt, Dan. Where can you get it? It's like it's a second-hand shirt. It's like an original Netherlands from 2002. So it's not something you can just go pick up and buy. But if you do see shirts or shirts being resold, that's how I would get there. Shane says, how could you say Interstellar when Lord of the Rings exists? Because Interstellar is a better movie than Lord of the Rings. Sorry, not sorry. Nothing wrong with Lord of the Rings. Fantastic film trilogy, but nothing touches Interstellar. The GOAT movie. It's It is Christopher Nolan, goated director, goated movie. Matthew McConaughey, a piece of acting genius in that movie. Absolute genius. Does anyone know if you triple captain? I can tell you that I did not triple captain. I can tell you that right away. Lord of the Rings is a good movie if you want to go to sleep. That's a violation, Jack. Lord of the Rings is good. It really is. And for its time, insane. Rev says, Interstellar? I hardly know her. Very good. That is very, very good indeed. Well done. Could at least take her out for dinner first. What's your favourite food? Favourite food? Doritos, but not of the death variety. Luke says, getting an Interstellar sleeve in December. Goat movie. Nice, Luke. I actually rate that a lot. Alt Junkie says, Interstellar was truly awful. Sorry, not sorry. Sounds like you just didn't understand it, my friend. Sounds like you didn't understand it. I do love Interstellar, but Dune 2 would be better. It depends what you like, to be fair. Like hard sci-fi or like, you know, like space opera type stuff. Prediction scores for today. I think Man United beat Brighton. Can I see a 1-1? I'm gonna say, okay, 1-1 in Brighton versus United. Crystal Palace beat West Ham. I can see them scoring at least 2 goals, maybe 2-0. Hopefully 2-0, but I think maybe more realistically 2-1. Fulham, Leicester 2-1. Man City, Ipswich 4-0. Southampton, Forest 1-1. Tottenham, Everton 1-0 Spurs. Aston Villa, Arsenal 2-0 Arsenal. Comparing Interstellar and Lord of the Rings is like comparing apples and oranges. Yeah, you're right. You are right. Sounds like we need a bench list for this movie. All right. We've got like a few minutes till deadline. Till price reveals. Right, Daniel, think before you speak. You're speaking before you're thinking. We've got a few minutes until lineups are out. There we go. We got that. Right, let's find a movies tier list. Okay. Right, I just want like a general best movies ever tier list. Here we go. Oh, they're all like old school movies. Okay, best movies ever. Oh no, that's the same one I just clicked. Right. Matt's top 124 movies. That is a lot of What the hell is Chicken Run doing on here? D. Alright, let's find. Oh, okay. The Martian is A tier. Let me find Interstellar. I cannot see it for the life of me, so I can put it in GOAT tier. Inception, actually, to be fair, also A. Oh, you know what? 21 Jump Street, A. Harry Potter, overrated, C. Shrek, yeah, Shrek is S tier. Shrek is S tier. Come on, let's be honest. I'm still trying to find Interstellar on here. Avatar, overrated, C. Arrival, another A. You can tell I like my sci-fi. Oh, okay. Shawshank? Yeah, S. Shawshank is S tier. I will find Interstellar. I will find him. Where are you? Oh, you know what? There's a lot of good movies on here. Parasite, A. Super 8. Enjoyed that one. B. Nice little movie. Oh, Pokemon. The first movie? Am I going to put that in S tier? Is that an S tier movie? Nah, I'm being generous. Maybe I need to move some of these up. Nah, I'm not willing to do that. Okay, I'm going to put Interception down into B, I think. I think the rest are good. Do not disrespect Chicken Run. I'm sorry, it's a D tier movie. It's one of my least favourite films ever. Awful. Right, I really just want to find Interstellar on here, and then we can check the tier list. I'm gonna have to like move super close. You guys can just look at my hat whilst I'm looking at all of these movie posters. Jurassic World D. Atlantis underrated C. I think most people put that D, but I think it's underrated. I don't think it's on here. Can anyone see Can anyone see Interstellar on here? Because I am massively struggling. Toy Story is A tier for sure. Rango overrated D. Mary Poppins, like unless you are a nan. If you're a nan, it's S tier. But if you are not a nan, it's a D tier. Should we have a look at lineups? And then I'm finishing off this tier list, and then we can go, because it's very, very important that we do get this tier list correct. Right. Onana, Mazraoui, Maguire, Martinez. Oh, it's not in order. Ugh, why is it not in order? Okay, so Maguire and Martinez presumably playing centre-backs, Mazraoui and Dalot playing full-backs. We've got Ahmad started, no Garnacho starting. Still no Delict. Still no Xerxes. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so that's going to be some pain for some people, I imagine. Thoughts, guys? Any I mean, Xerxes. I think Xerxes was always risky. I think Garnacho is harsh. I think you can definitely count yourself unlucky with Garnacho. I thought he was probably due a start this week. Xerxes, I wasn't quite convinced he would quite be ready to start, but Xerxes will build up. I think by game week 3, we're going to see Xerxes starting and Garnacho, to be fair. But there we have it. Other than that, it's similar to last week, isn't it? Very similar to last week. Okay, Brighton and Hove Albion. We got Steele, Dunk, Milner, João Pedro starting, Welbeck starting again. Similar team to last week. Hinshelwood, he's a player, he is. Jorginho's on the bench, and Ciso is on the bench as well. Adingra. There's a lot of quality on that bench in the attacking positions. A lot of quality. You do have to worry about some of these attackers' minutes longer term. Let's see what happens. But there you go. Back to the important stuff. All right. Someone says Interstellar is on the 19th. Number 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be here. That's number 19. Or am I reading this wrong? Yeah, who said they knew where Interstellar was? It's 19 from top to bottom. From top to bottom, there's not even 19 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows. Or do we have to go on to the second row? Donnie Darko. Is that Interstellar? No, it's not. Someone says on the second row. I can't... honestly, someone please help me find Interstellar on here, because this is going to destroy my brain if I don't find it soon. Ratatouille, by the way, massively overrated. D. Coraline, D. Jumanji terrified me as a child, D. Oh, that's the new Jumanji though. Still D. I'm hoping that if we clear off enough movies, then we'll see. We'll see if Interstellar is left. Brother Bear, hey, emotional. I've not seen some of these films, to be fair. Donnie Darko, I get it. It's okay. It's okay. Megamind, class movie, A tier. Great movie. Oh, I can't put it in the same. Yeah, okay. It is a great movie, but I can't put it in the same as like The Martian and Parasite. That seems like a violation. Jumanji was awesome as a kid. Come on, man. It was terrifying as a kid. It scared me. Like, honestly, I had nightmares about Jumanji that I think have changed my life forever. Wolf of Wall Street, like it, B. The Theory of Everything. Actually, Theory of Everything is probably one of my favourite movies. I think it goes in an S. What year is this list from? I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Template modified 2020. So we've not got any like super new movies. So there's no Dunes. There's no Dunes. There's no... What other movies come out recently that are good? Not sure. Right, let's actually just pick out the movies I've actually seen, so I'm not judging movies unfairly. What movie is this? I recognise it. I don't know if I've seen it. Zombieland. It's fine. James Bond. Boring. Never liked James Bond films. Personal tastes, I know, but... Dodgeball. Yes, he's funny. Alright, B. Shawshank Redemption is indeed in S tier, along with Shrek. I think I've been too generous with Theory of Everything. I'm going to drop it down. Because I think S needs to be only for the GOATed. Only for the GOATed movies. Of which Shrek is. Harry Potter can go in the overrated section with all of the other Harry Potters. Overrated, overrated, overrated. How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, not bad movie. Fine. B. Toy Story 2. Now, for me, I think Toy Story 2 actually goes in S. I think that is the one. Juno. It's okay. It's fine. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. B. Decent for its time. Shaun of the Dead. Overrated. C. I can't be bothered to put all the Dark Knight trilogies in there. Gonna just keep putting Harry Potters in C. Lord of the Rings. Oh, we got a couple of Lord of the Rings. I can't tell which one's which. We'll just put one in for the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy, and it's A. I can't believe we're doing this, by the way. Star Wars. Is that A New Hope? No, it's Return of the Jedi. Well, it seems silly to start there. There you go. Mid. I've actually not seen a lot of these movies, to be fair, so I don't want to judge. Guardians of the Galaxy is okay. Pirates of the Caribbean is okay. And I think I have seen some of these other. Oh, Shutter Island, good movie, good movie. That's an A. That's an A tier. Lego Movie. I did enjoy the Lego Movie. I think it can't go higher than C though. All the interview. Good stuff. B. I'm beginning to get the impression that Interstellar is just not on here. Yeah. The Force Awakens. I actually enjoyed The Force Awakens. I mean, it's not like an elite movie, but it's good. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. And then we got all the the old school. I wish there was an order. Right, let's find A New Hope. It's this one, I think. I am a Gen 2 Star Warser, so I mean I enjoyed the original Star Wars trilogy, but for me it's always going to be the prequel trilogy. The Iron Giant. Good movie. I think that's an A. I think the Iron Giant is an A. Can I really be bothered to put any more of these in? Oh, is that Oh, what is this? Guys, someone help me out here. I've forgotten what this movie is called. It's the movie where they discover they get powers. What is it called? Oh my word, guys, you've got to help me out here. What is this movie? It's where the three are they teenagers maybe. They get powers, like psychic powers. I think from a comet. Right, someone's going to help me out in the chat for what that movie's called. And I think I'm pretty much done of the movies I can be bothered to rate. Let's just put my face super close. Oh, School of Rock. Didn't notice that one there. Right, we'll do School of Rock and then we'll leave the rest because I can't bother to keep going. School of Rock is B. Right, I think that's my tier list done. It's not Interstellar. It's here. Chronicle. Yes, that's it. I think you're right. Chronicle. That's it. Now, Super 8 is a different one, which is also a good movie and it's also on my tier list somewhere. I think. Is that here? Yeah, Super 8 is here. This is Chronicle, which I really did enjoy. Well done. Well done, Noz, who figured that one out. I can't believe there's still 600 people here watching me rate movies on an FPL channel. This is not normal. Is it? Can I pick my team yet? No. Okay, maybe it was just last week. Jack says, are you a Doctor Who fan? Not really, my friend. Not really. It was another one of those things that traumatized me so much as a child with a lot of the things that I can never go back. Right, basically, guys, any movie that is in S or A tier, if you haven't watched any of these movies, watch them. Maybe not so much the kids movies like Shrek, Toy Story, Pokemon, other Toy Story. Brother Bear, I think you can still watch as an adult and enjoy. Pokemon you might struggle with. I've been playing the new-ish Pokemon game, by the way. I've got it for my Switch the other day. And Pokemon has changed so much. This is the first time I've played Pokemon in about 15 years. Film review arc, here we land. I don't know if I know enough about films. I say I don't know enough about films. I studied media in college and university, so hopefully I should know a bit about films, but I'm certainly no expert. What about World War Z? I enjoyed World War Z, but it's probably not more than B tier. Jack says, this is the kind of content which makes you the best mate. It's that simple. The weirdness and the craziness. It's just random, isn't it? Andy just says, L child, just don't get traumatized. Yeah, duh, don't get traumatized. I don't know. Doctor Who freaked me out as a kid. Really freaked me out. says the list is in shambles. No, I'm sorry, you're wrong. You're wrong, I'm right. This, and it's heavily biased towards me being a sci-fi fan, because a lot of these higher tier movies are sci-fis, but still, like hard sci-fi as well. What's the top tier films? Well, I've put Shrek, Shawshank Redemption, and Toy Story 2, but really Interstellar should be here. It's an absolute travesty. Oh, hang on. This is not on the list. Let's go Interstellar movie poster. Can we go square? Right, if I save this image. Here we go. There we land. There we go. Interstellar. Up you go. Number 1. Goated movie. All other movies are irrelevant. In fact, just to end off the stream, guys. There you go. That is my tier list. But just to end off the stream, what we're going to do is we're going to put everything, like, relatively speaking, because we need to think about it from, like, a relative point of view. Because it's difficult to make comparison. Like, if I put too many movies in S and A tier, it looks like they are comparable to Interstellar. But if we're totally realistic and actually honest with ourselves, and I think it's important that we're honest with ourselves in life, generally speaking, every other movie is D tier compared to Interstellar. That is my final tier list. There we go. Done. Bro hasn't seen the B movie. I've seen the B movie too many times. Jerry Seinfeld leading the pack. B movie maybe goes in C tier in this list. There we go. Tier list done. Let's have a look at my team for next week. I think the one... Oh, wait. This isn't for next week. This is for this week. It hasn't it has updated now. There we go. The one thing I might switch is this. Aside from that, I'm reasonably happy with my team. Something like that for my Game Week 3 team, I think I'll do. You can never see the B movie too many times. I mean, that's a fair point. To be fair, I think I've only seen it maybe 4 or 5 times. But that, I think, to be honest, that is too many times to watch the B movie. To have seen the B movie 4 or 5 times is outrageous. And I apologise for having seen it so many times. It's good. It's good. It's good. All right, anyway. That's the stream done, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I enjoyed this one in the end. It's perked me up. I came into this stream at 10 a.m, half asleep, and finished the stream rating movies. Yes, I did roll my transfer. No transfers needed. But there we go, guys. I'll be back. I think I'm going to stream tomorrow. I'm thinking I'm going to stream tomorrow evening after the final game. So hopefully maybe see you guys tomorrow for another stream if you fancy it. If not, I'll see you on Monday for a video. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Appreciate you guys as always. Good luck this game week. Hope you score really, really well. As long as you don't score more than me, I'm happy days. And I will see you later, mates. Catch you over on Twitter. See you later, mates. Bye-bye.